guys, we're here to do my smart home setup. You're going to see an overview of everything that I use in my smart home, everything that I have set up so far, things that I may want to do in the future. And you're also going to see an overview of the apps that I actually use to control all this stuff and show you some of the cool things you can do with that. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a recce is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so we're here starting at the outside of my house to show you guys what I have on the outside for my smart home. So we're going to start off with the Ring. See the Ring here? This is a Ring video doorbell. So basically I have a camera on the front, so if someone clicks on this and it rings, I get a notification on my phone and it tells me someone's on my front door and I can answer. It also works as a motion detector. So same concept there. If someone walks by the door, it will also alert me and I'll get to see a live feed. Recently something that they added, which I've been waiting for so long, is you can finally look at the live feed of the video anytime you want without there actually being motion or a person in front of it. So that helps a lot when you want to monitor things. So that is the first thing. Walking in here, there's a lot of smart home stuff all over the place. Some of the stuff is not, like, I'm actually still working on some stuff, but there's still a lot of smart home stuff in this house already. And I told you guys I will show you guys all the apps that I use at the end of this video for all of this stuff to show you guys how it all works together and how I do things. But going over here, so if you see here, we have a Alexa cancel. Forgot I can't say that code word there. But you see there that we got the video one, so that's pretty cool. It controls basically everything in this house. I struggled between getting the Apple version of it, the HomePod, or this one, because obviously we have a lot of Apple products in this house. So we may eventually get one. It's just that I think Alexa, it's going to be the one that is our main one, and that is simply because she's the one that's open and it works with basically everything that we have. I can even have, my front door show up on there if I wanted to. We can show you guys that real quick right now. Alexa, show me my front door.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a minute there to load, but it eventually loads up. See, the audio usually comes through first. And now you can see the front of my house that we were just at. Alexa, go home. And then she goes back home. So this thing works really well, has a lot of cool features in it. The next thing we have next to it is a Logitech Circle camera that works. And just to mention this now, before I forget, everything that we use in this house is meant to work with, don't want to say her name so it doesn't go off again, or the Apple ecosystem as well. That way we can control everything with Siri on our phone, or like when we're not home or when we are home and we have our phones in our hands, which is obviously quicker. Or we can control it with this thing as well, or any of the other ones that we have around the house. So I make sure everything I buy is compatible with both. And there actually is a fair amount out there, but it does limit some of the options, but it works for us because then it works with, our phones with Siri and with that when we're home. That obviously is a camera for the living room. So, and it's also motion sensors and stuff, and it get alerts on our phone through the Apple ecosystem. So same thing, it also works with this. So I can look at that living room camera from there if I wanted to. So same kind of concept. Just to give you guys a few more details of the actual Alexa app as well, before we go to the next part of this video, is some of the cool things that I do that don't have anything to do with smart home stuff in here, but I can even ask it, tell it to turn my car on, because Ford is now synced with this thing. So I can actually tell it to, start my car, because it has auto start, so I can go and just wake up and tell this to just turn my car on, and then when I get outside it's warmed up. I can ask it how much gas is left, if I forgot if I had to get gas or not, how many miles are on it, things like that don't have anything to do with maybe smart things on my house, but there's a lot of things that Alexa can do if you have different things going on. The car thing is one of the cool things I like, and everything else that it works with in the house. I wanted to let you guys know about that, because there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with Alexa here. Now, moving over here, it's not really a thing. It's just a PSVR that's sitting here. This TV is going to be replaced someday, and it's going to turn into a smart home TV. So this one is not, but that's going to happen, and there is going to be an Apple TV in here. Right now, the only thing in here is a Chromecast, which works well because it has obviously iOS support and any Android. So if anyone comes over, we get this in here and it works. This is a 1080p TV, so a Vizio TV, but this will replace with the Samsung at some point in the future. So I'm giving you guys what I currently have and also some of my future plans that will be coming later. The bedroom, This is where our actual 4K TV is. This is where I usually play my systems. The Xbox One isn't here currently, but it usually is. And the PS4 Pro is sitting in here. And then we got this 4K Samsung TV. It's a 2017 model. So this is a really great TV, and I have a lot of fun with that. Now, moving over here, we have another one. This is the bedside version. I forget the exact name now. It's like running through my head, but we have another one of those. So this thing is pretty cool. It does the same thing. It has a little screen on it, so I could do the same thing and show the front camera or whatever I want to see will also work in here. And it controls, like I said, everything that I have for both. So, and here we just have some controllers. You can see an Apple TV remote here. And something that I forgot to mention, we do have a speaker system down there with the 2.1 surround sound down there. Also with an Apple TV in here. And the Apple TV is useful because we have everything synced up on there with our pictures and stuff, but also more importantly, it lets us run the Apple service outside the home. So if we want to control some of the Apple products, you know, while we're not home, we can do so based on the fact that Apple TV is acting as the hub for everything. So that is everything in here. Now, if we move along here in our kitchen, what we have here is pretty simple. Besides the snacks next to it, we got another one of you know her name. And this is the Sonos One that actually works with it, but it actually has that thing built in. Now that shall not be named. So that is in there. So that's cool that that's in there and it works with Sonos. So it all syncs up with Sonos. If you guys don't know what Sonos is, it basically puts all your music services together, and you'll see a couple of more of these here in a minute as far as the Sonos. And I'll show you what that sounds like a little bit later in the video. Something that I forgot to mention. We were in the living room. All of these lights, every single light in this house is now Philips Hue enabled. The ones up here are all just regular white. So if I tell this thing, Alexa, turn off kitchen lights. See that those turned off, and now we're in here, and now these are turned off. Same kind of concept in there, and these, like I said, are all white, but we have some colored ones all over the basement that we're about to go see here in a few minutes. So that's what's out here. Now, walking through here, Jesus, I keep forgetting things to mention, guys. Sorry about that. So, something that's missing out of this wall that we will be putting here is basically an iPad. And this is so, if people come over, a lot of our stuff is, you know, runs through our iPads and stuff. Even our TV, we actually don't even have DirecTV here anymore. So we basically just use like Hulu Live TV and all that. So right now we use Chromecast to put it on there, or sometimes Apple TV, depending on what room we're in. So it's nice to be able to use the iPad to do a lot of the things and check a lot of things. So we're going to have one on the wall there, and you can take it out of the wall when you want to. And, you know, when guests come over, that's how they can control the TV and everything in the house. And I'll show you guys a little bit more of what I mean on an iPad mini that's downstairs that actually is configured and ready to go. This one is just missing because I want to buy a cheap iPad because it doesn't need to do anything special. Just needs to work with the apps. I already have a 10.5-inch iPad Pro, which doesn't fit in there, that I use on a daily basis. So there's no need to buy an expensive one, just a cheap one that works. So that being said, let's go outside real quick to show you guys what I had done outside. Just real quick here, you see these two speakers here on the side of the house. These are the two other Sonos speakers. I'll show you guys where that's connected downstairs. Don't have any good solution for the wires. This is actually coming all the way around to the side of the house and up to the front. So these are two Sonos speakers. They get really loud back here. So that's another Sonos thing, so they can all sync up. I got one here, I got one in the basement, and we got one in the kitchen, as you saw, that are all synced up together. So going back inside. And if we go down here into the game room, which you guys have seen a tour of, but you never actually got any details about the smart home setup down here. There's a lot of smart home things set up down here. I'm going to start with the things over there. So you see that there's another Apple TV down there. We got that going. We got the Sonos Hub back there. You see that in the gray. Sitting there in the corner, and that's where the two speakers outside actually come into. So they go all the way through outside through here with the cable, because there's no such thing as the wireless to work on Sonos. So the wire's coming all the way into here, but it works perfectly great. Just the wires are out there, as you saw, but it's not a big deal. It works. That's all that matters. And we get music outside. So that's where that's coming from there. Now, what's cool about this whole room, and I will show you guys this in a minute, is there's two ways that I can do stuff in this room. So obviously we can use our phones to control stuff with. But there's another method that we can control things with, and this is the iPad system I was talking about upstairs. So if I hit this here, it's asking for a software update. Hold on. I just want to make sure nothing popped up on the screen that shouldn't pop up. So this is the Simple Home system. Simple Home is basically, it works with everything internet connected that lets you put all your devices into an app and stuff like that. And also anything that doesn't have an app or anything internet connected, like my projector behind me, for example, can use a little IR blaster that you can buy from them, and then you can put the IR blaster on it. And it all works with this app. And I've been using this for over like 3 years now. And they just released an update that makes this look so much better. And it's just great. It works with the Alexa system, which before she hears me, there's actually one over there where the pops are. So there's actually stuff over, there's a small one over there. Not a screen or anything, just a regular one. To control stuff like this, because you can use your voice. But we're going to use the iPad so you guys can get an idea. So all my rooms are laid out in here. See if that thing can focus. All the rooms are laid out in here. So clicking on stuff like the game room will show you like things I could start in the game room, like listening to Sonos, play PS3 or Xbox, watch Google Chromecast and stuff. And this is why I want another iPad upstairs, because all this stuff is controlled through here. So we got the movie room, and you got all the systems you can play in there. The guest room, the patio, you know, for the Sonos outside. All this stuff is controlled through an iPad or through your phone. They got this app just for your phone as well. And what's cool that they just added recently, which is why I wanted everything to work with Apple side and with the Alexa side, is because they actually have now these things down here, which now lets you control everything within this app of everything smart in your house. So for example, if I click on this, these are my actual speaker systems for Sonos in the house. So I can control the volume and stuff from there. If you look at it next to it, this is my actual front door lock. And I actually forgot to mention that. The good thing that this popped up, sorry guys, there's a lot of smart home stuff in this house, and sometimes it just escapes my mind. But my front door that we passed before, on top of the fact that I have the Ring outside, the front door is also smart as well. So I can just tell Siri to open or lock the front door and all that kind of stuff in there as well, and see when the front door opens. And there's actually sensors all over the house, but I just didn't want to point out exactly where they were in this video. But basically, it's just a regular sensor like you guys are used to seeing with every smart home setup, where there's on windows and doors and stuff. So I'll get alerts if a front door opens or a window opens and stuff like that all over the house. You know, so that's kind of basic stuff, but it's there. Kind of the security system, so I always know with the cameras and the sensors and stuff like that. So it's cool to have a lock that works with this, because basically I will show you guys later in the app overview of what all these things can do together with the Apple ecosystem and the Alexa and stuff once we get into the apps that we're using. This being one of them, but this isn't how you control it all completely. This is just some of the stuff. So if you see here, I can also click on the cameras, and you can see that this is the movie room camera. There's a camera actually behind us that I haven't shown off yet. And there's one in the living room that we were just upstairs in. So you can see that that is upstairs. So all the cameras work off here, so you can kind of get a view of everything. And this is just our Nest thermostat that works with this as well. You can see that it's set to 70 degrees. Something else I forgot to mention. Jesus. So there's a Nest system upstairs in the living room that we passed. It's a good thing that this app is reminding me of everything in this house, because as you can tell, remembering everything you have in your house for the smart home stuff is not easy. But basically, I have a Nest system upstairs as well. So we'll show that off here in a minute. But that's basically everything you could do in here. But what's great is now showing off what I actually wanted you to show, or wanted to show off. Click on the movie room. If I click on play Xbox One, not only do you get all the controls for everything Xbox and everything in the Xbox room that I have set up, like the Denon receiver, the Epson and stuff, you can see everything turns on for me. So anybody who comes down here, even though there's a lot of systems and a lot of things you could do in here, it's very simple, because the Xbox just turned on, the Denon receiver turns on, it switches to the right input, the projector screen comes down on its own to the perfect length that it's supposed to. As you can see here, the projector has turned on, and that is on as well. Everything is set as it should, and here we are ready to play NHL 18. So that's basically what's cool about this room as far as like all that going. So moving along, like I said, there's a camera back there as well to show this whole room off, to monitor this room, as you guys saw on that. One of the other cool things that, if you guys didn't see this on my gaming setup, this is a smart thing as well, because it works with any NHL team, but basically when the Devils score, because that's my favorite team, so that's what it's set to. As soon as they score, this goes off on its own and makes that sound when they score. So I don't actually have to press that button. As soon as the Devils score in real life, within like whatever amount of seconds, a few seconds, or sometimes immediately, depending on how you have the app set up, that will go off on its own. So that's a really cool thing when you're watching the Devils games down here. Coming into this room, if we go across here, really quickly, we got the Sonos system down here. This is the Play 5 that works in here. So this thing is really loud, and this thing is great for music. And the main reason I got it is because it has an aux in. And there's a lot of board games we've been recently playing. Fog of Love, as you can see over there. I have a cable sticking out over there that usually goes into the shelf. And then when we're playing a board game like Werewolves or stuff like that, if you guys have ever played that, it requires an app. So I connect the iPad and stuff, and then this is really loud and lets people actually hear it. So works really well for what I'm looking for. And as I said before, all the lights in here are also compatible the same way. One of the other smart things that I added recently is this clock here. As you can see how many subscribers we currently have, and it auto switches and tells me how many people on Twitch, the time and stuff. Goes through all my social media accounts just to let me know what my current thing is and give me motivation every time I need it to let me know that things are progressing. So that's basically it for most of the stuff down here that I can think of. I'm going to go upstairs real quick just to show you guys the Nest and the front door lock that we forgot to show you guys. Just so you get a view so you can see the screen comes down perfectly as it should. And something cool about this app, guys, before we leave, is you can control everything from here. So like I was saying before, that's the volume right there for the whole system. You got all the control options. You can easily get into the Epson stuff and switch inputs if you need to, anything like that. It's a really cool app, and it works really well for me. I haven't had any issues with it at all, and their support is perfect as soon as I actually call them. There's actually another Google Chromecast in the dining room. If we don't have an Apple TV in a room, then we have a Chromecast, because now that I just remember, the game room TV, the little small one that you saw in the game side, actually has a Chromecast as well. So anything that doesn't have an Apple TV has a Chromecast for the time being. We have 2 Apple TVs currently, one in the bedroom and one downstairs. So real quick, if you see the Nest over here, you could see that the Nest is over here set to 70 degrees. So you see that this Nest is on the wall. And the front door lock is cool. What's cool about that is it works with Siri and stuff like that. This is actually the only piece in the house, this front door lock, that doesn't work with her and with Siri at the same time. This is the only piece. Everything else works with both platforms to be able to talk to it, including all the movie room stuff I showed you. Everything works except for that thing. So that has to be on their phones only, but that's mainly what we want to use it for, to close and open the front door and get notifications on when the door opens or opening it from our phones. And we'll show that off here in a minute when we get to the app that we're about to take a look at. So speaking of the app, let me show you guys a view of the iPad and show you guys how I control things and how that works. All right, guys, so here we are with the actual iPad, so I can show you guys some of the apps I'm talking about here. So some of the apps that we use, I have an actual dedicated section here for the smart home app. So this is all the stuff that I have. So this is the interface. I'm sure you guys are used to this as far as things around the house that you guys may not have seen yet, because it's not something I can easily just point out. So I thought I'd go over it in this video because it's not actual pieces. So this is the Apple system here. So you can see here that this is their interface, and this is basically all my favorited icons that I have here. And these are my favorite scenes. Scenes are simple. You group things together and they do something for you. So Good Night groups anything I want. Everything in the house that needs to be turned off automatically at 1:30 automatically shuts off at 1:30. If I need to turn them back on, obviously I can't, because sometimes I'm up past 1:30. But that's the thing you have here. So if I hit that now, it would turn everything off. Good Morning. Actually, I have some sensors in the bedroom that are hidden. That's why I couldn't show you guys, like motion sensors and one in the basement and stuff. And they will do certain things for me. Obviously, not only will they alert me of motion if I'm not home, because this app knows if I'm home or not, so it will know to alert me or not. If you are home, it's not going to alert you about any motion, obviously. But if you aren't home, it obviously will. One of the things that it does as soon as I wake up is the sensor detects me waking up and getting out of bed. And it immediately turns my bathroom lights on, the living room lamp on, and the kitchen lights on for me, and the bedroom lights. So everything, like, all the lights turn on that I need to. So that's what Good Morning kind of is. I'm leaving, obviously turns everything off and locks the front door for me. I'm back, will open the front door and unlock the front door for me, and turn on the living room lamp so I can see when I come in here. So those are the scenes, and this is just different things that are in here that I favorited. You can see here that the 2 cameras are in here, and actually you can see me recording because I'm in the living room. So these are the 2 cameras, and these are just some of the favorited accessories that I have. I have some of the things in here, and some of the things that Alexa can do here that I didn't show you guys before. If I pick this up and show you real quick, I can have some of the sensors that you can see here. So if I pick this up right now and I go, Alexa, turn on the fireplace. You can see that fireplace just turned on. Same thing with the TV.
Sorry, fireplace isn't responding.
Not sure why I said it wasn't responding, because it obviously did respond. Sometimes Alexa does things, but then tells you it doesn't, which is not true. So Alexa sometimes can be a little bit weird with these
I'm not quite sure how to help
switches.
you with that.
But anyway, she did turn it on, and that's basically how that works. I have that set up for the TVs as well. I had that set up for the TVs in the bedroom, so I could turn that on and stuff like that and work with that. So, you know, having those different sensors and stuff is cool to be able to let you turn things on and off. Like your coffee maker, if you want your coffee to turn on its own at a certain amount of time, a certain time in the morning, so it's ready when you leave, you can do that as well. And Alexa can control that, Siri can control that stuff. The one that's actually here, as you just saw turned on, that wasn't on before, is the living room fireplace. So if I just tap that, that living room fireplace just turned off. The bedroom TV is actually on right now because we turned it on before, so I can easily just turn that off. And you can obviously go here and click on rooms, and it shows you I have all the room. I took a picture of every room for the background, and you got the movie room here, so you got every single sensor that's in here. I have a water sensor downstairs because sometimes we get a little bit of water in the basement, so I get alerts immediately on my phone if there's a water sensor. One in the laundry room as well. I have a sun pump sensor in there and a sun pump turn on, so my sun pump will immediately turn on when the sensor detects the water. It tells the system to turn on the actual switch. The switch turns on the sun pump, and then that gets turned on. Some of that stuff isn't easy to show you, so that's why I'm giving you an overview in the app, because it's not easy to go around the room and show you guys stuff like that. And these are just all the automations that I have set up when I leave and stuff that I was talking about before. So speaking of that, this is a simple control app that we had downstairs that's also on this big iPad here, so I've already showed you guys an overview of that when we were down there. This is the Ring system, which is the Ring cameras outside, and the Nest app. The only Nest product I actually have is obviously the Nest thermostat up there that I showed you before. We got the Sonos system, so if you click on the Sonos system here, to show you guys real quick, like I told you, I have, I was listening to 90s songs, because there's going to be, spoiler alert, a 90s party here, which means there's going to be a vlog of it, so you guys can definitely subscribe and check that out, because that's going to be really cool. But basically, I can switch here, click on Game Room, and these are the 3 that pop up. You can play the music everywhere, in the game room, in the kitchen, or in the patio. Those are the 3 that we have. You can select one only, or to play them all in every spot. And it works with a lot of services, including Apple Music and stuff. These are Hue Lights, so all the Hue Lights that I have in my house. Luma Internet, something else that the Alexa can do, besides just control the things in here, is the Internet. I have the Luma system set up, so I could technically tell it to pause the Internet. You know, or turn off certain devices for kids if I had kids yet and stuff like that. Weather Station is just a weather app. My Solar City is because I actually have solar panels on the roof, and this app will just tell me basic things about like how much energy the solar panels up there have created and how much I've used and stuff like that. Kiwi Set here is just the unlock, so it tells me my front door is currently locked, so I could tap that to unlock it, or I can just talk to Siri and say, "Hey Siri, open the front door." I don't know if you guys can hear that chime in the background, possibly, maybe.
Your front door is unlocked.
But the front door just opened. Hey, Siri. Close the front door.
Got it.
And again, I don't know if you can hear that. Hopefully you can, but you can kind of hear it closing the front door there in the background. So that's basically what that does. And then the Eve is motion, are all the sensors that are around the house. All the ones on the doors, the windows, the water sensors, all that kind of stuff is there. Logic camera, the 2 cameras that I showed you guys before that I use, and this is the speed test. I also have a server downstairs for all my media to back up all my DVDs and Blu-rays that I have and easily be able to watch them anywhere through Plex. And the iHome control as well. I use some of the iHomes like for the fireplace that I showed you before, and the TV in the bedroom and stuff like that. So that is basically an overview of everything I use smart related in the house. There's always plans to expand. There's always plans to do new things. I want to upgrade this TV in the living room that I talked about before. I want to put another Alexa in the shower in a good spot so it doesn't get wet or anything. So we can easily listen to music on it while we're in there and just tell it what song we want to play and all that kind of stuff. So I got to do that. There's always new things you want to add, but I think, and I want to get a Samsung fridge hopefully one day, the Samsung technology fridge for the kitchen that I want, that you guys have seen with like the big LCD screen in the front, has been a dream of mine to actually have. So we'll see if I get that one day. So there's always new things that I have in my mind that I want to do, but things have come a long way since we moved in here a couple of years back as far as the smart home stuff goes, and there may be some things that I'm forgetting. Hopefully I didn't forget anything important, but that's kind of an overview of everything in here. If you guys have any specific questions about anything that you may have seen in the video or something that I maybe glanced over that you guys saw, or have any questions how any of these things are set up, definitely subscribe. Sorry, not subscribe. Well, do subscribe, but that's not what I meant. Comment below and I'll definitely do my best to answer the questions. Guys, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you guys like what you see. There's going to be a really cool 90s collection of everything that I've gotten for this 90s party that is now obviously part of my collection on my shelves in the glass shelves downstairs. So there's been a lot of rearranging there. There's going to be like over 40 collectibles from the 90s probably in that video. So you guys will definitely want to check that out if you're a 90s kid and a 90s fan. So definitely subscribe for that. That will be coming in a few weeks once the party's over, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who may watch my YouTube channel that's coming to that party. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and until next time.
Tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming